Aloha, this is Wise Master, your global advisor on divine wisdom and African cultural heritage. Man around town, you're asking why Africa is still said to be great in spite of all odds. Of course, Africa is great Africa and remain great in spite of all odds, according to you, because there are a lot of underlying virtues and peculiarities that set it apart from other nations. I can tell you this. Even though some of these great virtues have been gradually eroded away by Western influences and influences of other nations, but those great virtues and culture remain very, very prominent and irremovable. For example, we have great values for core human virtues. We have the brotherhood and communal living system, whereby you see your neighbor as your own brethren, and because of that, we do things together, and that's why you hardly find the need of old people's home in Africa like in other nations, because your neighbor's children are your children. The obligation of their moral upbringing lies on everyone, and they are fairly accessible for interaction and rendering of basic services. So by so doing, you hardly see the aged as lonely as you find them in other parts of the world. Again, we are very highly spiritual, only next to the old Jewish culture, if not at the same level or even more. Our spirituality is very, very high and it's working well for us. Then we will talk about high regard for elders and parents. In Africa, it's taken as sacrosanct, and there is no other part of the world that beats Africa in that. Then we'll talk about high regard for our traditional values. We have great and rich traditional values. For example, there is great strength of wisdom in our parables, love for nature, natural foods, traditional medications, our clothing and wears. All these remain preferable, at least in our eyes, because we know their efficacies and their beauty. The African man till tomorrow prefers his clothing and his fashion of clothing far and above those of other nations. His traditional medication, his traditional food, he doesn't play with his food. Always preferable than any other food in any part of the world. That is why anytime they travel, they miss home so much, and you see them coming back from time to time to have a touch, nostalgic touch of those great potentials. Then talking about uh, the great blessings of Africa. God created Africa great and made it the center of the world. So I can tell you that Africa is the center of the world because the moon and the sun is domiciled here. There is nowhere else in this world that you get closer to the sun and tap its benefits than in Africa. Here you have great forestations, great ecosystem, um, mineral resources, solid minerals, liquid minerals, different species of animals, fishes, fruits, fertile grounds, mountains and all of those things for tourism potentials. And probably what we lack is the selfless leadership that can rise to harness these great potentials together and really put us where we should be. But I know that with the cooperation of other greater nations ahead of us, this will be achieved. All around town, hope your question is answered. Thank you. God bless you.